The Cfmoto 450Ss has been getting a lot of attention in global markets, including the US. But for the price tag, can the Cfmoto hold its own against this decade-old supersport? So the goal of today's video is to pit this old 600 against this brand new 450.
Vamos a celebrarlo tú y yo, tú y yo. Vamos a brindar por el amor.
All right, 1000cc. Is it everything you could want and more? Yes, absolutely. This one, 200 horsepower, 90 foot-pounds of torque, electronic Owen suspension, forged wheels. It's got the beautiful winglets. Bona fide freaking race bike. It's refined. This bike is like a freaking scalpel, man. Surgical accuracy. That's how I describe the Aprilia RS V4. It's insane how much you get with this kind of bike, but it also has the price tag to match. Brand new, these things are 25, 26 before taxes, freight. You have traction control, ABS, slide control, wheelie control. You got lean angle sensors, just sensors up the freaking wazoo. This bike even has cruise control, quick shifter, auto blipper. I don't know, need I go on? Everything that you could want in a motorcycle, this has it, except heated grips. I'll rephrase that. Everything you could want in a sport bike, this has it. It even has the beautiful V4 sound, man. I absolutely love this bike. I'm in love with the Aprilia RS V4. I've been through all of them. Now, 1000cc's just have a special place in my heart. When I got my first 1000, a 2008 CBR 1000RR, when that bike came out, it almost changed the game. It was the lightest 1000cc ever at the time. I think a year later, the S1000RR came out. That bike was nimble. The power delivery on the CBR 1000RR was so linear, it made that bike easy to ride. That bike almost felt like a 600cc, and surprisingly, that bike compared to my R6 was actually shorter, so it made riding even more comfortable for me. And ever since then, I never went back to a 600cc. I think after that, I got my first Gixxer 1000, then I got a few more Gixxer 1000s, a bunch of R1s, a ZX-10R, so on and so forth, if you've been following this channel for as long as I've been on it. And to be honest with you, I didn't upgrade to a 1000cc because I needed more power. In my opinion, I thought the R6 was plenty of power, and I probably wasn't ready to jump to a 1000cc. I just happened to get a like this crazy once-in-a-lifetime deal. The bike had just come out. Some guy went and traded it at a Dodge dealership, and my friend happened to work at that Dodge dealership, and he was like, hey, you know that bike that you've been drooling over? We just got one as a trade-in. It had like 1,700 miles. And I asked my buddy, like, how much do you guys want for it? He's like, well, we gave the guy 5,000 bucks in trade-in. And I said, okay, well, how much do you want for it? And he's like, 5,000 bucks. Otherwise, it's going to the Honda dealership. Then I was like, I'm gonna be right there, dude. Went to my bank, pulled out the cash, pulled out a few $100s extra, gave a little bit to the dealer who took in the trade, and gave a little bit to my buddy who hit me up. I gotta pay my finder's fees, man. But yeah, to be honest, when I upgraded to 1000, it was literally about the bragging rights. And the reason I wanted that specific bike was because of all the things I mentioned previously. It felt like a 600, so it felt like the natural transition. And when I transitioned to the 1000cc's, again, I never went back just because how much fun 1000s were. It's like, why buy a 600 when I could just buy 1000? And I feel like that's part of the reason the 600cc segment is now down to the ZX6R, the Gixxer 600 in the US, and the Honda. Okay, we made it to Manila Sunset, where all the Asians gather. The Gixxer King is in a Mercedes Benz, bro. My god. Which one is this, like the cheapest version or something? I can't believe you're not on a bike. It's weird not seeing you. You're usually in somebody else's car or your bike. Is this somebody else's car?
My girl.
My god. Where's Cleo, Miss Cleo? I want to get a boba. Is there time to get that?
Might as well, bro. Whenever I'm around Asians, I crave boba. When I'm by myself, coffee.
You know what's funny? I went and started riding. As soon as I get on the freeway, dirt in my left eye, bro. Blew in there. I'm like, god damn it. That's why I got it. You know that. You know that's motorcycle riders are prone to styes in their eye, especially if those motherfuckers that ride with the visors open.
Well, that's why I always try to keep my visor down.
Damn, bro. Leo brought the
fucking Miata. Shit, son. You got hungry, bro? What the f? Jesus Christ.
Took a bite out.
Is that normal, like, for these? I heard that's normal for these.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it was what, in Texas heat, so yeah.
Shit. What's under the hood? Can you see it?
Nuts.
Really?
Yeah.
It's stock?
Stock.
How many miles on the car, bro?
220.
How long you owned it?
6 years.
Oh yeah, it's a piece of shit, bro. Close that. Close it, bro. That's what nobody.
Was it?
My eye hurts already. I want to lose my right eye looking at it.
I rebuilt it when I was in high school, so I just.
Yeah, we can tell, bro. Jesus Christ, you don't have to tell us, bro.
I don't
We can
have any
tell.
money to.
This is a fucking high school shop car, bro. Oh my God. I like it, dude. No, I mean, like, I don't like yours. I like these. God, that's like probably the nicest thing.
That makes it look hella Filipino.
It does.
That looks like the couch at my fucking parents' house.
Still got the plastic on it. So we got Filipino spaghetti. All shit I haven't had in a long time. Mix it? Okay. Alright guys, I love Filipino spaghetti. Probably not good for you. It's so sweet. Bro, this is delicious.
Dude, I remember when I used to not even like eating the heads, and now I eat everything.
Oh no, yeah, you gotta eat everything, bro. Even the fins, right? You even eat the fins? Yeah, me too, dude. When did you stop becoming Filipino? It's one of the most basic shit, bro.
When I mowed my first lawn. I decided I want to switch over.
Anyway, why'd you get 1,000, bro?
I don't know. I had a 600.
What made
in
you
Texas
decide?
goes fast. Oh, I got a good deal on it. Some guy was like, "I'll buy your 600 for 5,000," and then some guy was gonna sell me 1,000 for 5,000.
Oh, that's all it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were looking for 1,000. You just happened to come across
I
it.
came across it. I stay on the marketplace.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, what's funny right now, fucking thousands are cheaper than 600s and 750s.
You know what's crazy? That's what's crazy.
It's
bro.
because 1,000 on Optimal for Washington.
Yo, for real.
No,
what
not
the
here.
fuck?
Yeah, in Texas they're super overpriced.
Are they?
Because everyone just wants to go in a straight line there.
Shit.
Well,
all it
see,
is.
here, all the thousands that have been bought are all because of noobs, right? And then they realize they can't do shit with thousands here, so they sell them and get the sixes. So the market
Fuck you. That's what I'm doing.
thousands go down.
Let me ask you something. Why'd you get a 750?
Because I couldn't find a R6 Raven under 5 grand that was in good condition, and if I was gonna go Gixxer, there's no point in sticking with a 600 when my limit is I wouldn't touch 1,000.
But 750 and 1,000, it's like literally like
Yeah.
you're splitting hairs.
I know.
You're splitting hairs.
But I'm on the other side of the hair.
You are. Okay.
Anything over that hair, I'm not gonna be.
Interesting.
And the thousands are too heavy. I've ridden a couple of them, and they're not good for
Oh, shit.
maneuverability.
Pick that one up compared to your 750.
Oh, this is
Fuck.
way significantly
Heavy,
lighter.
yeah.
Yes.
Really? No, I think it's heavy.
No, this feels light.
You think it's light?
This one's not bad.
Like I don't even have to put effort doing that.
Interesting.
I have to put effort when I'm putting my bike up.
No. That's because Gixxers, for some reason, they lean like harder than everybody. Like as far as like the kickstand. What did you think about the 450?
It was fun.
It was fun, right?
It was fun, but it needs to be in that environment.
Yeah.
Any environment here, unless you're like city riding, I guess. City riding, that wouldn't be a fun bike.
Bro, I had a tough time trying to pass anybody.
No, I feel it. You know how many times I'm over here going, nah, and then I'm shifting and it goes, da-da-da-da-da-da.
I'm over here like in that last video, I'm like, I'm about to get Leo in this straight. This soul's like, huh? We are onto the R6 now, and I feel like every time I go to work on this bike, I find something new. Let me just show you what I mean. If I open this up, I didn't see this right away, but this tank isn't even properly mounted because it's missing the tank bolt. Not a huge deal, I'll just run to the hardware store and get one, but very annoying when you buy a used motorcycle. Which kind of leads me to another good point. If you're gonna buy a used motorcycle, you should know how to at least turn a wrench, even if you've never worked on a motorcycle before. So I bought this brake bleed pump kit. This pretty much sucks and blows just like a Gixxer rider. If your brake fluid is the same color as my face, it's time to flush that shit out. I personally hate using this thing just
because there's so much bullshit that goes along with it. Step 1, remove this cap on the reservoir. I'm gonna take a shop towel and suck this up. You can use a turkey baster. Again, a shop towel I can just toss. All right, now we're just gonna fill up the reservoir with your favorite brake fluid. I like to go all the way up. Now, some people are really anal about which valve you bleed first. I think in the car world, there's like a rule of farthest to nearest. But in the Yamaha handbook for the R1, it says start with the master cylinder and then move down to the calipers. For the R6, there's just like a T that separates both brake lines, so neither is the farthest. Plus, these brake lines are so short, in my opinion, it doesn't matter where you start or where you end. This silicone hose and this foot tub is my favorite setup. If you can't figure out how to do this, you have no business trying to do this brake job. Hose on the nipple. If you have the time and the patience, you can do this thing called a gravity bleed, where essentially you just open this bleeder valve and let all that fluid drain out. Some real Bill Nye shit with gravity. What I do is the more traditional manual way. Once I open up that valve, I pull this brake lever all the way in, which pushes the fluid out, and then I'm gonna close it back up with my wrench, and then pump the lever again until it gets hard. Open the valve, push, close the valve, and once that fluid starts running clear, I'm gonna move on to the right side, and finally the master cylinder. And it's gonna be really important that you keep this reservoir filled. If at any time it gets empty, you run the risk of introducing air into your lines. This is the master cylinder. Again, loosen, push out the fluid, tighten, pump, loosen, push out the fluid, tighten, pump. Do that till it's clear. And then when you're pulling these lines off, it's good to use like a rag to help catch some of that fluid. Get your caps back on. Make sure that fluid is between the minimum and maximum. Get this back in and no more adobo sauce.
The Yamaha R6, bro. We're on it. And I think it's set up just fine this time. No loose throttle, no shaky front end. A proper test ride. Let's go. Woo. Extremely smooth inline 4. I don't know what else to say about this bike. It's amazing. Let's quickly get into what this bike doesn't have. It doesn't have 200 horsepower like the 1000cc. It doesn't have the sound that I'm looking for, like the 450Ss with its cross-plane 270-degree twin cylinder. It doesn't have Öhlins suspension, but when compared to the 450, it does have fully adjustable suspension. We're talking high-speed, low-speed compression, damping. Front forks have preload. The 450 does not. Now, this isn't the best suspension that you can get on a motorcycle, obviously. I think the 2017 does not actually come with the R1 front end. It doesn't have beautiful LEDs. It doesn't have a TFT display. No traction control. The 450Ss actually has traction control. When you think about it, 600 cc's are about as raw as they get. I don't even think the R6 generation after this one had a TFT display. I think they just stuck the old R1 crossplane dash on it. Now, since this bike is actually ride-by-wire, unlike the 636, which has like ancient throttle cable technology, on the R6, you can add a quick shifter and an auto blipper. I don't know why Kawasaki won't give the 36 a ride-by-wire, but that is one of the major downsides of that motorcycle. Do I wish the 450Ss was ride-by-wire? Yes, because I really want an auto blipper and quick shifter on that bike. But that bike is actually pretty smooth, and it does come with a slipper clutch from the factory, and I have been able to successfully auto blip and downshift myself manually, so adding a quick shifter isn't really in the plans for the 450Ss. It's just not that type of bike that I want to spend money on. Speaking of money, to get the R6 to the bike that I want, I'm gonna spend at a minimum another 5 G's. So already we're talking about a $10,000 600cc. I was testing the vibration because I thought I felt vibration again, but this time it could definitely just be the tires because it wasn't as vibraty as before. Now it's just like normal. If I were to buy a brand new Yamaha R6 versus like a brand new S1000RR, two motorcycles I would consider industry standard, right? S1000RR has electronic suspension. You can get the one with forged wheels, and you automatically get 200 horsepower and crazy amount of torque. To get the kind of suspension that the big super bikes have, to get the wheels to come close to the power, what are we kidding? The 600 is never gonna hit 200 horsepower, but to push as much power as you could out of the same bike, it's just gonna take a lot more money. And in the long run, by the time you've spent that money, you might as well have gotten 1000cc. I think that's part of the reason 600cc's, they're dinosaurs, they're fossils. Yamaha's never gonna bring out the R6 again. There's rumors of an R9, but I really don't think, I don't know. If there is an R9 that comes out, that's pretty much gonna be like a Gixxer 750. We all know the FZ09, MT09 is more powerful than the R6. If they gear the transmission correctly, it'll give us a nice top speed, but at what cost? How much is it gonna be? That's a question that's on the back of my mind. Honestly, I'm thinking about picking up a second R6. That's how much I love this bike. I want to snag them before they're just gone, man. And you know, I don't think they're gonna be gone like a Toyota Supra, if you will, but I think it's gonna be harder and harder to find good, clean examples of the Yamaha R6. Then again, I could always just buy the race bike brand new. Now, I don't need a test ride to tell you guys that this bike is a terrible commuting bike. The position is too aggressive. I commuted on it for like 2 years. It was my first bike. It was super uncomfortable. I fatigued a lot. I rode without the cushion on the seat because I just felt like I wasn't tall enough, especially as a new rider. Now I can ride any tall bike, but the R6 is definitely not a beginner-friendly motorcycle. Can you do it? Absolutely. I think if you have enough confidence and you're well aware of your limits, anybody can start on the 600cc. Is the R6 the ideal 600cc to start on? If you're tall enough, maybe. Personally, I think the Gixxer 600 is a great, friendly beginner 600cc. And I would even add the CBR 600RR to that list. The 450Ss is a great beginner motorcycle, but where it lacks, well, do you guys remember the little engine that could? Thomas the Train. That's what the Cfmoto 450Ss is like. It's like, it can do things. It goes, it turns, it has torque. It's got horsepower. But the truth is, this is really not the perfect bike for anything. Is it the perfect bike for a beginner? I hate that topic. What is the perfect beginner bike topic, right? Because the truth is, there is no perfect beginner bike. Now, depending on who you ask, there's a perfect 600cc, there's a perfect 1000cc, and then the majority would say the Gixxer 750 is the perfect mix of both worlds. I think most motorcycle riders, especially in the sport bike scene, would agree with me. Now, I've made a couple of videos on the 450Ss. I introduced it, I took it to the canyons and showed you guys what it could potentially do. But I think at the end of the day, the 450Ss is a novelty motorcycle. Is it a bike that you would buy as a beginner? Of course. Because again, there is no perfect beginner bike. It's all personal preference. But it is also a motorcycle that you buy for fun, for shits and giggles, to troll, as the Gixxer King would say. Or for somebody like me, I just happened to come across it on a trade and I wanted to create content on it. Maybe in other parts of the world besides the US, this is the perfect bike. Some countries have license restrictions based on the type of motorcycle, the horsepower, etc., etc. Some countries have motorcycle CC restrictions. Some motorcycles are way more expensive in other countries than they are in the US. So the Cfmoto 450Ss is the best bang for the buck, which brings me to price. If you can get this bike for $4,500, that's a steal. MSRP is $5,500 brand new. I would say try the used market if you're interested in these. I personally would not buy this bike brand new. I know those freight fees are high. You do have to pay taxes on it, and then if you're in Washington State, you have to pay use tax on used motors. It's stupid, okay? But this bike will cost you somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000. I bought a 2009 Yamaha R6 for $5,000. It doesn't have a TFT display. It doesn't have navigation. It doesn't have the music connection, Bluetooth connectivity, but it has so much more than the 450 in areas that matter. It has power, has fully adjustable suspension. It doesn't have the Brembo monoblocks, but the R6 calipers are actually really good once you get rid of those Yamaha OEM brake pads that are made of wood. No, the Yamaha R6 doesn't have the soundtrack that this bike has. I'm falling in love with this cross-plane twin-cylinder sound. It sounds similar to the FZ07 without all that engine braking. Like, watch when I let go of this throttle. Super smooth. If I were to do that on the FZ, holy cannoli, forget about it. Now, I'm a short rider, and this is completely subjective. If you're like 5'5", 5'3", 5'4", somewhere around there, this might be the better choice than the R6. But I always recommend the Gixxer 600 for short riders. It's low. It's low to the ground, that bike. I think you guys see where I'm going with this. 450SS versus the R6. The clear winner here is the R6. Now, 600 versus 1000cc, a lot of it has to do with what you get for your money. Buying a flagship 1000cc, you truly do get a lot of value for the money. But when comparing something like a 450SS to the R6 or a CBR 600 or Gixxer 600, a lot of guys will be like, I kind of want the 450SS because it seems like a good starter bike. But if you have just a little bit of confidence in yourself, confidence in your ability, you'll quickly outgrow the 450SS. I cannot recommend the 450SS as a beginner bike to somebody who's always wanted an R6 or a CBR or a Gixxer. This is not a stepping stone. I don't think for the price of this motorcycle, brand new, it's hardly a stepping stone. A good first bike should be used, but if you're gonna pay $5,000 for a used Ninja 400, a used Cfmoto 450Ss, you need to look at a 600cc. You may have heard of the term, there's no replacement for displacement. In the world of 600 versus thousands, that's really, really subjective. But when you're considering a 450 against a 600cc, there's no replacement for displacement. I don't want any of y'all to think that I'm drinking the Cfmoto juice. The truth is, Cfmoto 450 is just a novelty. All the 450 homies in the Philippines, I know y'all don't have a choice. Don't kill me for this one, because believe me, if y'all had a choice, this wouldn't be the bike you'd be riding. Alright, it's raining. I gotta get home, man. I'm out here f***ing around. Man, it just decided to come down. I saw the clouds, but dang. I'm soaked.
So just to reiterate some of my final thoughts, the Cfmoto 450SS is a great beginner motorcycle. I wouldn't necessarily call this the best beginner motorcycle, but I can confidently say that this is a flagship beginner motorcycle. And just like my flagship RSV4, it has a lot of features that you wouldn't necessarily miss if they weren't there. Because let's face it, if you can't control 50 horsepower and 28 foot-pounds of torque at the very top of the revs, should you really be riding a motorcycle? See, for a lot of people, including me, the R6 was actually an excellent first motorcycle. The ABS and traction control were all controlled by my right hand. And not once did I think to myself, I need a TFT dash, I need some ABS, I need traction control, GPS, music. The point I'm trying to make here is everything that's missing on this bike, that's pretty much a standard feature on this bike, are all negligible. But the main thing missing from this bike, you know, the things you need to pass cars and other motorcycles at the track, it's just not there. And for the price tag of this bike, you can actually get this bike. I demand more cool mama contents. All right.
Good morning.
These are motorcycle glasses from Cfmoto. They have like a foam around the eyes that helps protect your eyes from the wind. These are $27 on Amazon, and the reason they're priced a little bit higher is because these lenses are polarized. And they also come with 3 other lenses that you can interchange. Now you can wear them as regular glasses, just like so, but to see if they actually work well, we're gonna convert them into goggles.
Make up your fucking mind.
Once you get those off, these straps just pop.
Do you know what you're doing, really?
Yeah, they just pop right in, god damn it. Now they're goggles and you can adjust them.
We're going to the beach.
Okay, now we gotta test it out. You ready?
Ready?
Does it work?
Huh?
Does it work?
It looks nice.
Yeah, it worked good.
It looks good.
Your eyes you didn't feel anything?
Yeah.
Nice.
Can I have it?
I started a GoFundMe for her if you guys want to donate to making videos. Her content creation career has just started.
$1 each lang.